Woz Players present Showcasing the Stars, featuring the cast, crew, and pit of the 2020 production, Phantom of the Opera.
Welcome to Showcasing the Stars. I am your host and director, Alison Hoffman. We hope this online series will allow the Woz players an opportunity to share their efforts during the rehearsal process of Phantom of the Opera. We plan to put on an episode a week featuring the cast, crew, and pit. Each episode will showcase different elements of the production and are listed in the description section of our YouTube channel. Please leave comments supporting the Woz players. To start our senior kickoff, the seniors would like to introduce themselves.
My name is Gabby Troch. I play Madame Andre and one of the ballet dancers in Phantom of the Opera. I joined the Woz players my freshman year when we put on the show Into the Woods.
Hi, my name is Gibson and I play the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. And I first joined the Woz players my freshman year in the fall show that year, which was Stalag 17, actually the shirt I'm wearing right now.
Hello, I'm Tommy Lane, and I play Rayer in Phantom of the Opera. I joined the Woz players in 6th grade for the show Peter Pan, and then joined again my freshman year for the show Stalag 17.
Hi, my name is Polina Pastushenko. I play Madame Jury in Phantom of the Opera, and I joined the Woz players 4 years ago, my freshman year, when we get Into the Woods.
Hi, my name's Samantha Feely, and I play Rochelle Fearman in the Phantom of the Opera. I joined the Woz players when I was in 6th grade, and we did a combined middle school, high school show of Peter Pan.
Hi, my name is Logan Crouthamel, and I am the costumes, hair, and makeup chief for Phantom of the Opera. I started my Woz player career way back in 6th grade, though.
Hi, my name is Krawcyk. I play Raoul in Phantom of the Opera, and I have been in the Woz players for 4 years, ever since my freshman year in our production of Into the Woods.
Thanks, seniors. It's great to hear from you. We have a few questions we'd like to ask. Question number 1. What is a favorite memory you have of the Woz players?
My favorite memory is from just a few weeks ago when we stopped rehearsal to have lunch, and instead of going into the gym foyer where we usually have lunch and all sit at different tables, we actually all went into the choir room and sat together. I just thought it was such a great thing to do. It really brought all of us together, and we all just sat and we talked about past memories that we have of being in the shows, any of our rehearsal processes that we thought were fun. It was just a great laugh altogether.
I think one of my favorite memories from the Woz players would have to be the entire span of time during Footloose where we first started trying to get me to learn how to do an assisted backflip. I had to do an assisted backflip during a song with Paul Forte, and we tried to learn it pretty early on so I could get it down by the show, and that entire 3-week process when I was first learning was some of the funniest moments I think I've ever had in my entire life. Just even thinking about them now I'm laughing, but trying to do the backflips in the black box with Paul on this giant mat that you could fall 30 feet from and be fine, but Miss Hoffman is still standing there biting her nails and being wait, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe we shouldn't do this. Or just some of the stuff that was said during it, and especially the first time we did it without the mat. The first time we did it without the mat was probably one of the scariest moments, not of my life, but of Miss Hoffman's life. I don't know why she was more scared than I was, but I don't know, just something about it. Every time I think about it, it just makes me laugh, and it just makes me smile and remember all the really great times that we've had. And it was just a really good time.
So I have so many good memories from the Woz players, but the one that's sticking out right now as my favorite would be during the show Spring. Paul Forte and I were playing football players, and I had to throw a pass from out in the hallway onto the stage in the black box. I'm not a very athletic person. My hand-eye coordination is meh at best. And during one of the student performances, I threw the ball and hit a light that was shining on the stage. It knocked the light completely out of place, and we had to stop the show. I'm pretty sure the football also ended up hitting Kara Campbell. I think that's who it hit. And I have not been able to live that down. Still one of the funniest moments that I had on stage.
I think a favorite memory of mine is just the sole fact that I got to experience being a Woz player. I think that every single thing that ever happened to me in that group and in that time is a certain memory that I never want to forget, no matter if it was good or bad or annoying or not. I don't ever wish that I look back on this time and think that a memory didn't exist. Because truly, I mean, every single thing that happened shaped me in some way, shape, or form. So I hope that all of those memories for the past 4 years, they stick with me for an eternity, and that I remember every single one of those. Because truly, this was a joyous time for me, and those 4 years were probably the happiest of my life. So, yeah, I think just being a WAS player is my favorite memory.
My favorite memory from the WAS players is either when I fell off the stage during Mystery at the Watering Can, or just the entire experience of Peter and the Starcatcher. That show just was my favorite. I had so much fun doing it, and it was one of the best experiences I've had in theater.
I would say my favorite memory from the WAS players was definitely being a part of Mystery at the Watering Can. Being able to explore the role of Chiffon and literally just have, I don't want to say free reign because obviously we had restrictions, but because it was an improv show, we really got to develop our own characters and storyline. And I just had so much fun creating it and collaborating with other people to make all of our characters fit in and make a storyline that made sense but also was hilarious. I think that was the funniest show we've done that I've been a part of. And then I just had so much fun making it, and everyone was happy during that show. There was so many good memories made. So I think overall my favorite memory of the WAS players was being able to experience an improv show like Mystery at the Watering Can.
One of my favorite memories from the WAS players isn't as much about a show or a rehearsal specifically that we've done, but it's about this thing that I partook in sophomore year called Guys Night. The WAS players is a very close-knit family, and we're all great friends and whatnot, and the guys in the program always held this thing every year called Guys Night, where we would all get together for a night or a day, and we would just have fun and just do whatever, like not worry about rehearsal or anything like that, all the stress that comes with the shows. And sophomore year, I don't know, I went to Guys Night and I just really enjoyed it, and it's one of the things I will remember for the rest of my life, and it all happened because of the WAS players and my involvement in the WAS players, so really thankful for that, and that's one of my most favorite memories.
Those are some really great memories. Question number 2. What made you join the WAS players or audition for the first time?
I joined the WAS players because I always had an interest in performing, and I always loved to be on stage. My first opportunity to join the WAS players was actually when I was back in 6th grade, and they did their combined show of Peter Pan. They did it for 6th through 12th grade. I actually decided not to audition because I was this tiny little 6th grader, and I thought it was kind of intimidating to be with all of the high schoolers. But now that I am the high schooler, I can make sure that the middle schoolers didn't feel the same way that I was, and I could help encourage them.
What made me first join the WAS players was the sense of community that I felt when I first walked into the black box. It was my freshman year, and it was during the fall show, and it was halfway through the fall show, and one of the cast members had quit. And I was currently working on the junior show that year, and Miss Hoffman found me, and she was like, "Hey, I really need a favor here. Do you remember me? I'm Miss Hoffman." And then we talked for a little, and she brought me into the black box, and as soon as I stepped foot in there and I saw all of what I now consider to be my brothers and my best friends on stage, I don't know, I just got this overwhelming feeling of a community and a family and friendship that I'd never experienced before, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, it was supernatural. I don't know what it is. It's something about the black box that just gives you that feeling. But that's the moment that I knew that the WAS players were something that I wanted to do all of my high school career.
I actually joined the WAS players off of the advice of my sister. I had been doing acting at the Ritz Theater in Hawley for a little while, and then my 6th grade year and her 8th grade year, the middle school and high school did a combined show of Peter Pan, and I had so much fun. My expectations were so high because of how much Katie praised the organization, but my expectations were still surpassed. It was so much fun and a blast, and I really have to, give my sister thanks for sending me on my way into that organization. You know, she left behind a legacy that it's been hard to live up to, but you know, still an awesome experience, and I had so much fun in my time here.
The first time I auditioned for Into the Woods, my friend wanted to audition, and she convinced me to do it with her. But then the day of the audition, she decided that she was just gonna join the crew anyway, but I thought that I put way too much work into learning the audition stuff, so I just went ahead and auditioned and got into the Woods, and that was the first time that I ever did a show with the WASP players, and ever since then, I am a WASP player, and it's great, and I am so glad that my friend made me audition, because I don't know what I would have been doing without it.
So I joined the WASP players because I had started theater very young, and I already loved it, so when I saw that there was a play, Peter Pan, in 6th grade, I was ready and raring to go. But also, I remember back in intermediate school going to see the WASP players production of Beauty and the Beast. And I told my mom, we have to go see it, And she was a little skeptical, me wanting to go see a high school show, but it blew her away, it blew me away, and ever since then I was like, I can't wait to start this, and I got an early start because we did a combined show with the middle school.
So what caused me to audition for my first show way back when in middle school, honestly, I don't remember the exact moment, but all I know is I was sitting at my lunch table with all of my friends, and Mr. Williams was announcing lunch announcements, and there was a sign-up sheet at the front of the stage to go over and audition for a big high schooler play. And I never really did a lot of acting before that time. I did like Ritz Bits and some other plays at my local church, but nothing really extreme, I want to say. And I don't know what really caused me, but I heard him say audition for the WASP players high school show Peter Pan, and I literally just got up and I walked up and I signed up, and that was it. So I'm so glad I did that. It didn't take a lot of thought to do it, which I think means that it was the right move, and clearly it was.
So before I joined the WASP players, I was totally not into theater. Like, I used to actually say, like, theater, why would I do theater? Like, I'm never gonna do theater ever. And then my freshman year, I was in beginning piano class with my choir director, Mrs. Neenan, because I did choir as well. And she just kept telling me about these auditions for Into the Woods, the show, my freshman year, or the musical. And I was like, I don't know, maybe not. And she just kept trying to convince me. And eventually I listened and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go to the meeting, I'll see what's all about it. And I got to the meeting and I just decided, hey, maybe this is something I could try. It's worth a shot. So I auditioned, and somehow, luckily, Mrs. Hoffman saw something in me that I landed the role of Jack in Into the Woods. And ever since then, the WASP players has been a big part of my life in my high school career, and theater was a new passion for me that came out of nowhere, basically.
Last, we'd love to hear a funny or memorable moment from Phantom of the Opera rehearsals. Please share.
And one of a funny memory from this past experience of Phantom of the Opera is when Mr. Gardner finally built in the platform that we used, which ran across like the whole back. It was, I don't even know how many feet high, like 6 feet high. And it was really funny to watch everybody's reactions and expressions while they were up there, because you had some people that were super terrified, like kind of scared of heights. Then you had some that were super comfortable and were practically shaking the whole thing. That was just scaring everybody else. So to see some of your friends just have different reactions to that was just a lot of fun. And it was just a good laugh altogether.
A funny moment from Phantom. There's a lot, but the one that always comes to my mind is we were doing a run of show the one day, and it's right after Point of No Return, so it's right about to be the finale, and I have to kidnap Christine. And usually I run at her and I pick her up into a fireman's carry. But for some reason, I don't know what happened, I go to run at her and I just don't lift up. So I just tackle poor Lauren right into the ground, and we just crash right onto the stage. And Miss Hoffman's like, "What, are you guys okay?" And everybody on stage is like breaking character and laughing. but it was just so funny, and I felt so bad. Luckily, Lauren was okay, but that's one of the moments that I always think back on. I'm like, oh my god, that was so funny.
My favorite memory from the Phantom of the Opera would be learning French in the middle room with Tom Facetta. I was technically only supposed to be learning a French accent, but since Tom Facetta took French, he started teaching me some actual French. So I ended up changing about half of my lines, which now you guys will never get to hear. And you also will never get to hear my ridiculously terrible accent. Good for you.
I remember last year during Footloose, during a song that I had to sing, I was supposed to put this giant trash bag into this metal trash can, and during a dress rehearsal, the lid wouldn't budge, so I pulled on it, but it wouldn't lift, and I don't know what my facial expressions were on stage, but in my head, as I'm singing, I'm going, oh my god, what is going on? Why is this thing not opening? This is so annoying. And I tried it a couple more times, but it just wouldn't move. And then I very angrily put the trash bag right next to the can and moved on in the song. And I remember that once I was done, I was so mad about it. I was so angry, like I couldn't handle it. And then, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, that's the most hilarious thing that's ever happened. That was so funny, and I'm so glad it happened. I mean, I can't. It was so funny. I loved it.
A favorite memory I have from Phantom rehearsals kind of has a backstory. Mrs. Hoffman, for some reason, loves putting me on tall platforms that most of the time move. So, back in freshman year, it was the tree and Into the Woods. In Footloose, she put me on the church platform that would move and come on stage, and even the doorway that would spin. But this year, it was the platform that went along the back of the stage, and at the beginning it creaked, and even though I knew she wouldn't put us in danger, oh god, no, I was scared. And Alec would keep shaking it, and all of us would yell at him and be like, stop, we're gonna die, we don't like this. But, well, of course we were safe, but in our minds we were like, creaky, tall, no. So that's something I'll always remember from Phantom.
I think my favorite memory from Phantom of the Opera, well, our time with the show was short, especially for crew. I think being able to experience a different atmosphere than the normal cast atmosphere that I was so used to for so many years, it really was just a great experience to be in the black box with my costumes crew and such great people with amazing personalities. I miss you all, costume crew, I really do. And being able to laugh, joke around, but still get stuff done. So I think that's my favorite memory, is just being able to experience a new experience rather than, I don't want to say the same old show, but because it's not, it's a brand new, exciting show, but just a different experience and learn different skills and leadership skills.
So a funny or memorable experience from Phantom rehearsals. The first thing that comes to mind for me is jumping off of what we call the long boy set piece on the upstage on stage. There was a scene where I had to jump off of the high platform onto a mat as if I were jumping into the lake to go to Phantom's lair, blah blah blah. But that was probably one of my most memorable parts of rehearsal. Like every time I got to that scene, I would so look forward to being able to jump off that thing, because I just like jumping off it, and it was really fun. So yeah.
And now, some of the seniors have prepared performance clips. Please watch and enjoy.
I don't have a very large singing and dancing part in this show, so instead I'm just going to flex my French accent while reading some literature. If only you knew the power of the dark side, Vader said, reaching out to clutch the air with his black-gloved fist. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough, Luke said, as he wrapped his arms around the sensor array and lowered his feet to a metal ring. Wincing, he added, he told me you killed him. No, Vader said, his fist still clenched. I am your father. Luke's eyes went wide. My father? But Ben told me. No, Luke whimpered. No, that's not true. That's impossible. Search your feelings, Vader said. You know it to be true. No, Luke shouted. No! The wind picked up, and Vader's black cape rippled at his back. Luke, you can destroy the Emperor. He has foreseen this. It is your destiny. He opened his left hand and held it out to Luke. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, that voice which calls to me and speaks my name. And though I dream again, for now I find the Phantom of the Opera is there inside my mind.
In closing, thank you for watching, and a big thank you to everyone who made this first episode possible. Please share this and watch next week's episode, The Truth About Tech. Bye!